It's day 22, everyone. Getting closer. And hey, look at this. Michael Bidet gets a second one in Panels to Planets on Twitter. Which other sci-fi series could the three of you podcast on together in which you have years of knowledge, unlike you do with Doctor Who? That's hilarious. And equally enjoy as much as Who. So we all have to sort of agree on something. It's not like Chris likes one show more than the rest of us, and we can't, I don't know what's going on there.
Like something like Battlestar Galactica, Steven, you didn't watch, at least the reboot, so we can't do that. But DS9 is my first thought.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say Star Trek generally and Star Wars generally. I could riff on for hours and hours, and I'm sure you could too.
I couldn't do TOS. I could do TNG. No. I could do DS9. I never really watched Voyager.
No, don't watch Voyager.
And things like Enterprise, I don't really have the encyclopedic knowledge that I do of Doctor Who or DS9.
I could do the first three series, and then it kind of papers off with Voyager. If I had to watch for a podcast, I would, though. I'd like to plug Random Trek, Scott McNulty's podcast. I was just listening to it with one Liz Miles, which happened 3 weeks ago, I guess, at this point. But anyway, listen to it. It's very funny.
And at least with the DS9 podcast, if nothing else, you could have the crossover of Daphne Ashbrook.
Yes, on that one episode.
Episode. Well, I think she's only in one episode of Doctor Who.
That's actually very true.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
DS9. Well, it's not like that we would know much. Like, I can't think about I do have favorite episodes, but I have only seen it twice through, and I really, really like it.
Yeah, but we're talking about stuff you just have a gut level liking for, and I think Star Trek is the easy go to on that one.
Yeah, Deep Space Nine specifically.
Yeah. More well, for me, TNG or DS9.
And for me, it's TOS specifically. But
TOS, Warren, is sort of like the rehearsal for the rest of the franchise to learn from.
So. TOS is wonderful in its own way.
That was before it got good.
Yeah, it really was.
You are both wrong. Enjoy being wrong.
Have you seen season 3 of TOS?
Have you seen the first 2 of TNG?
I think we're doing this podcast right now. I think we're in the middle of it.
Thank you.
Voyager's a show that happens when the crew is killing time waiting to get back to the Alpha Quadrant, and they literally every episode starts off with Captain Janeway going, well, after a pretty troubling time, we've decided to take a week off in the holodeck. And the thing is you never see the troubling time. You always see the holodeck. And hey, look, it's Tom Paris's French village now. Look at him charm holographic ladies and buy French bread.
One thing about Voyager that always got me was, you get the ship gets damaged in a firefight with, I don't know, whoever. Giant cybernetic beavers.
Right.
I like it already.
Where are they sourcing spare parts? They can't have a whole spare ship.
Exactly. It's
inside.
That thing is a road trip movie where they never have to stop for gas. It's what's the point?
If you read the 50-year journey books, they talk about that and how annoyed they were with writing this show and how they wanted to reflect how this ship would be going to hell and how they'd have, if they were able to do it week to week like DS9 was kind of doing at the time because it was a redhead stepchild, they would have had a much more interesting show. And half that is the reason Ron Moore did all that stuff in Battlestar Galactica. He was sick and tired of this show of the week stuff and the fact that they were just sitting there in a hotel basically, being the lesser TNG at the time.
Voyager suffered somewhat as well because you had TNG, which goes straight into DS9 really, and then you got DS9 that goes straight into Voyager. And there's a lot of stuff that had already been done, and they set Voyager where and how they did so they could do different things. But then the different things didn't work.
I don't know. That's 6 1/2 dozen there. Some people really like Voyager, and fair point, but it wasn't for me, frankly.
I don't think any of us liked it, which means I think that's a perfect reason to start a new Star Trek Voyager podcast with the three of us.
Voyager? No.
Voyager, Harry Kim, something.
I mean, that's not good, but it's the best we come up with so far.
Yeah, well, hey, it's better than anything Voyager could come up with.